Today I'm going to be doing a deck profile on my zombie mill deck. It's more of a zombie mill draw deck. I found that zombies have had a big problem in the past of having draw power, and it's always been 1-for-1, so I've added a couple cards to see if I could help out with that. So I'm just going to go through the deck lineup really quickly and then come back and talk about combos and why this deck is the way it is. First, the Soul-Absorbing Bone Towers. The millers of the deck, run 3. The Plague Spreader, run 2. In January of 2014, they're going to go up to 3. I don't see 3 being very viable. Still, 2 is still pretty good. I'm going to stick with 2. If you guys find that 3 actually is working for you, let me know. Also, in January, Mizuki's going up to 3. I'm going to stick with 2 for now. Let me know how that works for you guys. I just feel that it's going to be too much, but just 2. Of course, Zombie Master at 3. He's the main engine of the deck, so definitely run 3. Goblin Zombie, run 3, just because he's the searcher, and he pretty much searches for every zombie except for Turtle, because Turtle's defense is a little too high. So, of course, as I mentioned, Turtle, run 3. And then I run 1 Morphing Jar. I run 2 Max Cs, only for the heavy synchro decks, or the heavy special summoning decks, but you can side them out for anything else, but for now, I like to main deck them. Some people like to side deck them. And then 2 Chainsaw Insects, just for, it's going to cause my opponent to draw, which is another form of milling, but it's in their hand. And now the reason why I run the Chainsaw Insects is because of this trap card here, Appropriate. Every time my opponent draws a card, I draw 2 cards. So I run 2 of them just because I'm twice as likely to draw into them, and I like their effect. And this is how I'm going to be doing all this drawing. I run 2 Dark Bribes. Protects the Appropriates, and it causes my opponent to draw, and in turn I draw 2. So 2 Dark Bribes. 2 Call the Haunted, of course, just because it's zombies and you want to come out of the graveyard strong. And then just normal staples like a Bottomless to screw them up, and a Solemn Warning to screw them up. I'll go into the spells. This goes hand in hand with the Appropriate. You can only run 1 Book of Moon, so Book of Eclipse, it's a 2-for-1. You get to send all their monsters face down, including your own, but sometimes zombies are pretty good face down. And at the end phase, they flip them all face up defense, and they draw a card for each one. And Appropriates on the field, you draw 2 cards. 1 day apiece, same deal. They draw a card, you draw a card. Appropriates on the field, you draw 2 more. Dark Wheel Dealings, this card's awesome. You draw a card, your opponent draws a card, you both discard a card, and that helps you put the Mizukis, the Plague Spreaders, whatever you need in your grave to go off. And if Appropriates on the field, you draw 2 more. Book of Life. Some people run 3. These are pretty much a monster reborn for zombies. I only like 2. 3's too much. I like just 2. This is also another neat card for zombies, which is the Infernal Reckless Summon. God, it has so many targets. I can use Special Summon a Goblin. It brings out the other 2. It works for the Turtle. It works for Plague Spreader. You know, even with Plague Spreader being at 3 in January, maybe I will go to 3 and Infernal Reckless him a little bit more. The Soul-Absorbing Bone Towers is mainly my target for this, to get all 3 of them on the field as quick as possible. Normal summon a Turtle, and then just start ramming into a mill. So, Infernal Reckless Summoning, just 2. 3's too many, 1's not enough, just 2. Staples, Foolish Burial. Burial from a Different Dimension. The 1 Book of Moon, as I mentioned, and then the Dark Hole. I'm going to go into the extra deck real quick, but I'm not going to really explain what they do because it's just an extra deck. I really don't go into it unless I'm stuck. The level 5, the Allied Justice Cataster. The level 6 is I run 1 Revive King Hades, just because after I'm done special summoning, mill, then I like to synchro into the last zombie, which is the Revive King, and you get your 1 last mill off. Plus his effect is pretty cool. Doom Kaiser Dragon. This card is actually really good. It does the same thing. You know, you summon, mill, and then you synchro into the the zombie and get one more mill off. But if you have Zombie World in the field, or if they actually have a zombie in their graveyard, Doomkaiser steals it, and it's one more mill. So I like Doomkaiser. For the level 8s, Scrap Dragon, Crimson Blader, Stardust Dragon. I run one level 9, which is the Mistworm. I actually make him pretty easily. He's a really good card, since three random cards in their field back to their hand, so he's a good card. Now for the Exeats, I run 2 level 3s, which is rank 3s, which is the Wind Up Zenmaines if I want to go on the defense, and then the Leviathan Dragon if I want to go on the offense. So if I get stuck and I'm not going to be able to mill them and I need to turn around and start attacking a little bit, those are the 2. Now for the level 4, rank 4s, Lavavel Chain. Make him real quick, throw a Mizuki into the graveyard, or put something on top of my deck, and then appropriates on the field. Use the Dark Bribe or whatever to, and basically I'm making myself drawn to that card, just put it on the top without having to shuffle, or they force me to shuffle or whatever. So he has a lot of good combos with him. Lavavel Chain. And then Staple, Maestroke, Pop Operative, the Gagaga Cowboy. Another rank 4, but it requires 3 rank 4s, which is the Thunderspark Dragon. This card's pretty cool. If you make him, it destroys all other face-up cards on the field. He's like kind of a dark hole, except for himself. And then when everything's out of the way, you attack. So he's pretty good. And then Evil Swarm Ouroboros. He is also a rank 4, but he requires 3 monsters. But he's not restricted to the Eye Swarm like most of the Evil Swarm cards are. And his 3 effects: you can discard a card from their hand, send a card from their graveyard, remove from play, or you can send something on the field back to their hand. So he's really good. His attack is not as big as most level 8 Synchro monsters, but he's still pretty good, just for his effect. I'm going to go into the side deck real quick. I don't have a lot of good side deck cards, so I'm just going to tell you what they are. And if I want to swap out real quick and move away from the milling deck, the milling variant, because I don't think it's working too well for game 2, depending on what I'm playing, like Necro Valley or something like that. I'll just swap it out real quick and turn it back to the regular old zombie beatdown synchro deck. 1 Kasha, the 2 Endless Decay, just because they have full life points. They're pretty good. They're 4K and attack. The 2 DD Crow. If I run into a deck that they put a lot of stuff in their graveyard, and I just want to stop them. So I run 2 DD Crow. 3 Zombie Worlds. This card's really good. It stops a lot of decks, like the Dragon decks, because their dragons in the field in the graveyard, they really can't do much. Plus, if I have a Zombie World in the field and I have the 3 Soulsborne Bone Towers or 2 Soulsborne Bone Towers in the field, they start going off with special summoning all kinds of crazy stuff, and well, they're all zombies and they're just milling themselves to death. So I like the Zombie Worlds. If I run into a deck that has a lot of back rows and I'm really getting stuck and screwed over, so I side the 3 MST, and there's always a way to work in MSTs. You can't really go wrong with them. Now this is 1 card, since Heavy Storm has been banned and has continued to be banned. The Malevolent Catastrophe, or whatever this is. Catastrophe. Basically is if a monster... activate only when your opponent monster declares an attack. Destroy all face-up and spell trap cards on the field. So it's a Heavy Storm, but it's a little conditional. But with the Dark Bribes, it shouldn't be hard to keep on the field until you're able to use it. But I side it out because I've been running into a Lightsworn deck recently, and there's just no point in having this main deck. So I side deck this little sucker for now. And then 3 cards that I just think are really neat, and they screw up a lot of decks, especially spell books, which is the Magic Drain. I have 3 different versions. This one is so old, it even says Magic Card on it, if you can see that. It says Magic Card, and then the rest say Spell. But basically what this card does is, if they play a spell card, I activate this, and it's going to negate that spell card. But if they can discard another spell card from their hand, it'll negate this trap, and their spell card goes off. So they're kind of stuck with a decision. They dark hole, you chain with this, and they're like, oh, okay, I could discard this spell card and my Dark Hole will go through, but now I'm throwing away a card that I needed to go off with my play. So it kind of stumps a lot of decks, especially, with whatever they're about to do. And if they don't have the extra spell card, then they just wasted a Dark Hole, and yay, my stuff is safe. So that's the side deck. I'm going to go into something real quick. I really, because the 2014 format's coming out, Mizuki and Plexbit are going to 3. There's certain cards out there like this Chain Destruction. You could just normal summon the Mizuki, later in the game or something, and you have a bunch of zombies in there. You could just normal summon Mizuki, activate this, and it sends all the Mizukis in your hand, main deck, or on the field to the grave. And then from there, you can just use their effect and start special summoning whatever you want from your deck. Or from the grave, I'm sorry. So, I don't know. I've collected them. You never know. They might work their way into the main deck or get side decked, but they're really the only way I can see that the 3 Mizuki, the 3 Plague Spreader, would actually work, because it just gets so cloggy, and this would be a way to dump them in the grave really quick so you can get their effect off. That's pretty much it. Thank you for watching, and good luck. Leave some comments down below. Let me know how badly this deck is.